Hi everyone, so Harvest League has launched now, and we have seen the preview blog of all the crafting options, which is a very long list. And yeah, if you're a little bit of a veteran, then you'll understand that this is really crazy stuff. And I wanted to go over this a little bit and explain like what are the main things to look out for, what are the main crazy recipes, and why they're so good. Obviously, I might miss a few, but I think you'll get the idea at least. So we have this preview block here, and they show a little bit how it's done. It's nothing really complicated. You just go into this portal. You can you have like these different like objects where you can plant, and then you click a button, and then you have to wait a few turns, and you come back and you kill the enemies, and then you get a few crafting results. And depending on what you plant and if you upgrade them or not, you can get like really like higher tier, really crazy stuff. It starts out rather moderate. You know, you have like these typical crafting modifiers where you reforge an item as from magic to rare, or you can remove a non-caster modifier and add a caster modifier, or you can just add a caster modifier. You can randomize the values, and so on and so on. So this is like the normal stuff, the tier 1 stuff, and there's, you know, a caster, attack, physical, fire, you know, all kinds of stuff. There's one that is very interesting, which is speed, but I'm going to go over that in a second. And yeah, this is like the normal stuff. There's a little bit of like socket stuff. For example, here is very interesting. Maybe for the campaign, it's also nice when you're starting out. You can change the colors a bit, so this actually helps you. So while leveling, I can just recommend trying this out. Otherwise, for later, you'll have the non-white socket to white socket, so you can have full white sockets on every piece if you like. But obviously, this is most likely going to be rare. So most of these recipes are actually weighted, and you're not going to see them very often. We don't know exactly how often. But yeah, they know like these crazy ones, I would expect them to be rather rare. Then there's like lots of other stuff where you have like some new effects, improves the quality of a flask, and reforges a rare item with rare modifiers 10 times using the outcome of the highest average modifier. It's like 10 chaos orbs basically spamming away on an item. That's a little bit of nice stuff, but nothing really crazy. Here I change fire resist to cold res or lightning to fire and so on. Also quite nice, especially in the campaign, I guess, or when you buy an item and it has exactly this one res that you want to change to something else, then it could be useful. Here it's starting to get interesting. Change a stack of fossils into a different type of fossil, stack of oils into different type of oils, and so on. So this could be quite interesting, because if you get lucky, you can get like, you know, golden oils, and suddenly you're rich or so. And same with the fossils. Like some of these fossils are really crazily expensive, like bloodstained fossils, for example, that add Val modifiers, I believe, are typically quite expensive. So I also like the mirror one might be you know, an outcome. So this could be quite amazing. Here is also like some kind of like meta crafting options. Reroll a rare item, keeping all the prefixes or all the suffixes, and then being much less likely to receive the same modifier, being much more likely to receive the same modifier. So this is also quite interesting, because you can kind of like keep a scuffed item that, you know, has like only tier 5 and tier 6 rolls or so, and then actually try to use this one. Yeah, nothing really crazy, but still interesting, I think, to you know, kind of like have you collect some items that you might want to use for these effects here. And just in general, it's probably really wise to keep a lot of items in your stash that, you know, have a little bit of potential to be used with those crafts here, because you never know, you know, what you're gonna get, what you can do next, and so on. But you want to keep some items ready for this, so they can actually, you know, try luck with this and potentially get a really great outcome. So now here it's becoming really interesting with the tier 4 crafts, and they are really incredible. So here we have a fracture craft. So if you have played in Synthesis, you'll notice that there are so-called fractured items, and they are an item that have one fixed stat. And this is like a normal stat. It's not like an implicit. This is normal, like a regular prefix or suffix stat, with it could up to all the way out of tier 1 rolls. So you can have, you know, like 110 life roll on your chest fractured, and then you can use any currency, any chaos orbs. You can spam, you can do essence crafting, whatever, and potentially get really crazy results with this. And yeah, actually fracturing a really rare mod, and then, you know, you can just chaos spam or metacraft or whatever, it's going to be extremely strong. Just imagine you do some tailwind boots and you fracture the tailwind. Obviously you have to hit the right stat, so you have to do this a few times probably, but yeah, like just getting any tailwind boots that have only tailwind and nothing else. It's probably like, I don't know, 2-3 exalts or so. From then on, people start crafting with like super crazy bad stuff. Typically, like most Tailwind boots on the lower end are extremely terrible, and all they have to go for them is Tailwind. And here you can actually fracture that and then Chaos Spam, or probably even Essence or anything. And you can potentially craft really crazy stuff. Same with like Explodey chests, with killed enemies explode for 3% physical damage or something. Same here, like really rare mod, really hard to get. And potentially you can fracture that as well, and then craft whatever amazing chest you like. So this is definitely something to look out for, but obviously it's the tier 4 seed, and they're very hard to get. Here's the speed modifier thing that I talked about earlier. This goes with the Tailwind thing that I just described, so you can make a fractured Tailwind boots, or not even a fractured one. You can just roll Tailwind boots and then use the speed modifier on the boots. And I don't think there's anything besides movement speed that I can get on like Hunter influenced boots, for example. And then this is almost a guarantee that you get movement speed, which is kind of like the most important stat after the Tailwind. And this is going to be quite amazing for those kind of boots. Here, this could be potentially very interesting. I have no clue about this new lab yet. So you can change an offering to the goddess, which is the key to the Uber lab, into a higher tier or something. And there's actually 3 of those. So I think it's going to be quite interesting. Probably like a lot more results and maybe a lot more enchants. So maybe you can actually go in with like 10 enchants or something. We'll see about this, but just something to look out for at least. And I imagine those tributes and dedication and so on, they might be quite expensive. Here again, we have the tier 4 from the Vivid type, and this allows you to get synthesized implicit modifiers. So again, they borrowed a little bit from Synthesis League, which I think is pretty cool. But then again, Synthesis League was really crazy. Obviously, you have to get super lucky here to actually get the right synthesis modifiers, because most of it might not even work for your build. But yeah, there are these like perma onslaught boots that people really like to craft. There's some crazy weapon stuff, like when someone gets like a physical damage roll on a weapon and so on, and potentially can get up to 3 implicits like this, I think, if it allows you to give more than one. And this will also be extremely strong. So yeah, the return of synthesis items is nuts. Another interesting thing here is the linking of sockets. So like the 3 and 4 is probably nice in the campaign. I think I found this once or twice. And obviously there's also 6 link, which is really awesome, but this is probably very rare, but it helps out, especially as a crowd, so this is pretty nice. Here is also an interesting one, upgrade a magic to a rare item, adding 2, 3 or 4 high tier modifiers. Obviously it's also going to be rather rare, I think, but especially the 3 one is pretty good, I think. So again, you can kind of like, alteration spam your Explodey chest or your Tailwind boots or something. And then you use this, and you make it into a 5 stat item, and then you can still craft 1. So that's probably the best case scenario, where you're almost guaranteed to get some good stats on, for example, something like boots or chests, on top of the the Tailwind or whatever you want to have. So that's going to be quite amazing. Also really cool, I think, is the add the random influence. So you can do this with weapon, armor, jewelry, so pretty much everything. And you don't have to use like a Conqueror's Orb to slam it, so you save like, I don't know, 1 to 3 exalts or so, and then you can start crafting on whatever base you like. I think this is pretty amazing to give people the option to craft their own crazy stuff, and definitely reduces the cost to acquire to actually make such an item happen. And you can basically use this, get like a random pair of boots, a little 85 plus or so. You use this influence thing, you alteration spam it for Tailwind. Then you can like regal it or something, and fracture this mod, and I don't know, suddenly you have like Tailwind boots of fractured modifier, and then you can spam away and suddenly have crazy boots. Or you use this Tailwind thing, augment with another speed modifier, and then you have this other craft where you add like 3 more modifiers and make it rare, and yeah, it's gonna be pretty amazing, I think. And finally, the tier 4 from the Primal, we have also influence crafting here, which is also very strong, I believe. You can remove a non-influence modifier and add a new influence modifier, so you potentially can have multiple of those from the same influence. This is going to be pretty crazy, I believe, because in most cases there's actually not really that many options, so it's relatively likely to get something really strong. And there's also augment with a new influence modifier. You can just imagine something like those Tailwind boots again, and it's already a double influence space where you have Redeemer and the Hunter modifier. So Hunter is Tailwind, and Redeemer can give you the elusive, I believe. And potentially you can roll for one and then augment the other one if you're lucky. So this is also pretty crazy. And yeah, just, I know, pretty nutty stuff, I think. Yeah, so this is about it for what I believe is going to be like the main uses for these kind of like high tier crafting options. And then there's a lot of other small stuff. For example, you can do something like quality is changed to max life, to max mana, to strength, and so on. The same is for the weapons, where it gives you like attack speed and crit chance and so on. And lots of other really interesting stuff, like you can sacrifice a map to get another map, or get like an Elder Guardian map, or to get some currency. Also, this one is probably interesting here, which can be used for getting XP for gems. So you can, level them to 2020 and bar them, and if they break, you can just sacrifice them and get back half of the XP potentially. Also here, attempt to awaken a level 20 support gem with a 5% chance. This could be potentially a huge gamble for like a awakened multi-strike or something, which costs something like around 40x or more, I think. So if you get that one, yeah, quite good, I guess. But yeah, if not, then it will be destroyed. So there's also a cost, and pretty amazing crafting option, I think. So we'll see how rare this one is going to be. It's a tier 2, so maybe you can use it once in a while. But yeah, I imagine that a lot of people will actually try to make this happen. Yeah. So this is it here, and yeah, hope you like this little overview here and like my analysis, I guess. And yeah, I'll be blasting Harvest League for a while, and definitely quite excited to see what is gonna happen with all these crafting options myself. I'm gonna be experimenting a lot, and then probably share a lot more. So stay tuned for that. Hope you like this video. Let's see you guys next time.